Hey guys, welcome back. Today I'm going to show you 12 healthy lunchbox swaps that take very little time and energy in the kitchen. And for those of you who still need something quick and easy off the shelf, I've got some clean store-bought options too. I'm not here to guilt trip anyone. I just want you to know that feeding your family well should feel easy and not stressful. And I've put together a free downloadable recipe guide from everything from today's video. It's in the description below. Grab it before you go and don't forget to subscribe. Firstly, let's talk about those packaged processed snacks. The kids love them and their lunchbox comes home completely empty. And honestly, that feels like a win, right? I want to ask you a question. Do you know what you're actually feeding them? It's what's going into their lunchbox is giving their brains and their bodies what they need to thrive, to concentrate at school, to have energy through the afternoon, like to actually feel good. Because a lunchbox can look full and feel like enough, but if it's full of the wrong things, our kids can be running on empty. Well, that's what I'm covering today. And honestly, the lunchbox is the easiest place to make a positive change. So most kids are getting these on a daily basis, but most flavored chips and savory snacks are cooked in refined oils. They have maltodextrin, mineral salts, yeast extract, MSG, natural flavors, food acids, hydrolyzed vegetable protein. The list goes on and on. Now I know what you're thinking. I'm not going to make chips at home. Well, neither am I. You don't have to. There are so many great clean swaps available in the supermarket today. My number one swap is popcorn, and I do like to make that myself because it literally takes 5 minutes, and the kids actually like to make it for themselves. I also love to buy packet popcorn. My favorite is the Serious popcorn brand. They're cooked with coconut oil, but I think you can find some out there also cooked in olive oil. But if your kid just won't let go of the chips, there are some cleaner options available. They're just potatoes, oil, and salt. With this one small swap, you've instantly removed a whole cocktail of additives from your child's day. Now, I know some kids are used to getting lollies and gummy lollies in their lunchbox, and they're basically just sugar, artificial colors, and flavors made into a fun shape. But here's the swap: homemade gummies. They're made from real fruit juice and grass-fed gelatin, and that's it. And I want to show you just how fast this really is, because before I tried it, I actually thought it was complicated. So you just pop some water into a small saucepan, sprinkle the gelatin over the top, and let it bloom for a few minutes. Then you're going to add in your cup of juice, pop it on a medium heat, and just stir it until the gelatin dissolves. That's it. You've done all the hard work you have to. Now you can use a glass dish or some little silicone molds if you've got them. Pour it in and then refrigerate until set. Now, do grab some fun silicone molds to make these more appealing to your little one. Here I've got some rockets, love hearts, these cute little unicorn ones, and also some cactus. You can find them anywhere. They're so easy to find. I think I got these from Kmart and Coles and some online. Gelatin is genuinely amazing for gut health, skin, and joints. You're turning a treat into something that's actually going to do good for your kid. And there's a nice amount of protein in them too. My kids go absolutely nuts for these. Now, I do like to add water to my recipe that dilutes the juice, which can be naturally quite high in sugar, but you can play around with the quantities to see what your kids like. Now, rather than finding a better for you lolly, I'm recommending we just swap the whole thing out for something your kids will love just as much and that actually nourishes them. How cute are they? Okay, this one is purely a label reading swap. No cooking required because you can make your own crackers at home, but they can be a little time consuming. So let's just read the labels. Crackers like Ritz and Jats are made with refined flour, oils, emulsifiers, and sugars. A good cracker should have maybe like 4 ingredients. Look for some whole grain flour, olive oil, seeds, and salt. That's it. If you want to make your own, you can go right ahead, but if you don't, just know what you're looking for. Some healthier swaps I'll pop here on the screen. You've got your Crustkits, whole grain Crustkits, organic rice cakes, eat right seaweed crackers. There's actually a lot of really nice clean ones available in the supermarkets today. Muesli bars are one of the sneakiest things on the supermarket shelves. They're made to look healthy and they say that they are on the box, but most of them are basically a chocolate bar with some nuts or oats thrown in. They've got loads of sugar, and barely any real nourishment. And I think the reason most people buy them is because they think making their own is going to be too hard. Well, that's not so. Watch this. You're just going to tip some oats into a bowl, followed by your choice of nuts and seeds. Then add in a teaspoon of cinnamon, a pinch of salt, and I've used a 1/4 cup of sultanas today. Now we've warmed up some honey, oil, and nut butter in the microwave. Once it's all nice and runny, pour it into the bowl and mix it all up. That is it, guys. Now press it firmly into a lined tray. We're going to bake it at 160 for 15 to 20 minutes or until golden. Pop it out of the oven. Once it's cooled down, let it set in the fridge for a little bit longer and then slice it into bars. That's it, you're done. It really couldn't get much easier. Even my 7-year-old can make these. I like to do a big lunchbox prep on a Sunday where I'll make up a batch of these muesli bars and then they're done for the whole week. And the best part is they cost a fraction of the price as those expensive ones from the shop. I'll pop a couple of cleaner ones on the screen now. We've got Carmen's protein bar. Aldi does a really good paleo bar too. But honestly, guys, homemade always tastes best. Okay, if your kid likes you to pop in a chocolate biscuit or a Tim Tam into their lunchbox, you're going to swap them out for these. My black bean brownies are just so good. The beans actually make it nice and fudgy. Now, the first time I made these for my kids, of course, I didn't tell them what was in it, and they ate like 3 or 4 each. They're just so yummy, and you get a good protein and fiber hit in their lunchbox treat. Not to mention a massive reduction in sugar. Everything from this recipe just goes into a blender. You pour it into a baking dish and you're done. It really couldn't get much simpler. Now these freeze really well, so make sure you double the batch. Now I couldn't find a store-bought shortcut for brownies, but smushed balls have really good ingredients and I know for a fact they are quite tasty. And then Koja have some chocky bickies, but these snacks can get a bit pricey if you're stacking it up against the homemade ones. Okay, processed deli meats. You know, ham, Devon, salami, pepperoni. They're so processed, full of nitrates, fillers, and cheap fats. The swap is simple, guys. Just cook a bit of extra protein that you're going to cook for dinner and have it for leftovers for the lunchbox. So think about some nice preservative-free sausages, chicken drumsticks, boiled eggs, even lamb cutlets. Real food, real protein, and real nourishment. And it takes zero effort because you're already cooking dinner anyway. Your kids deserve real food in their lunchbox, and this is one of the simplest ways to give it to them. A store-bought swap could be these Chief brisket bars, although my kids are not a fan of these. The texture's quite unusual. The Kui salami sticks are a big hit, but again, they can be quite exy. Okay, cheese stringers. Now, I know these are fun for kids, but they're often highly processed with additives, stabilizers, and flavors. The swap is simple. You're just going to cut up some cheese. My kids love simple cheddar or bocconcini, whatever you have at home. Cut up a bowl of it on Sunday and then you've got it set for the whole week. Now it takes a few minutes and it's so much cheaper than these cheese sticks. If you want to make it a little bit more fun for your kids, you can use little cute little fruit or cookie cutters to make shapes. If that seems like too much effort, you can always make it more fun with these cute little animal forks. Aren't they cute? I use them in my kids' lunchbox all the time. Now, good news for the cheese stick or stringer obsessed kid, there are some clean options available. You've got the bluey cheese sticks and mozzarella sticks from Woolies and cheese streamers, I think, from Aldi. They've got very minimal ingredients. Now for the base of most lunchboxes, the sandwich situation. Now, white bread is made from highly refined flour. It's got emulsifiers, preservatives, and it's engineered to sit on the shelf for weeks. If you swap it for sourdough, it's genuinely a great swap because the fermentation process breaks down gluten, makes nutrients more available, and it keeps you fuller for longer. I'm talking real sourdough from a bakery or the fridge section, not the stuff on the regular bread aisle. Make sure you check the ingredients on those. But my favorite sandwich alternative is a homemade wrap. Now, before you think, yeah, right, I'm not making wraps, let me show you how fast these really are. You're literally just mixing flour and yogurt in a bowl. Self-raising flour makes it go nice and puffy and soft when you cook it. You're going to mix it all up, let it rest for 5 minutes, divide it into 4, roll it nice and thin, and then cook it for a few minutes each side in a pan. I like to use a spray of olive oil, helps it go a little bit more golden. That's just 2 ingredients, guys. It's like 10 minutes from start to finish. So make a batch of them and use them for, I call them sandwich wraps because I don't roll them. I like to just cut them in half and sandwich the filling in between. Now, store-bought shortcut, I would recommend the cleanest ones I can find is like a Lebanese bread and a mountain bread. They're both solid options. But there's also plenty of great real sourdough options available these days. Just check the ingredients. It should just be flour, water, and salt. Avoid anything with a long list of numbers and additives. Now, muffins. Let's take a look at the ingredients on these harmless Woolworths muffins. Not great, right? A homemade muffin is one of the easiest things you can make. Even your kids can do it. And I want to bust the myth that baking takes ages. Okay, you're just going to mash your bananas into a bowl. The riper, the sweeter. Then you're going to add your eggs and honey, coconut oil, and vanilla. Now, in another bowl, I've already got my oat flour, baking powder, cinnamon, and salt. If you want to add in a zucchini, I would do that now. Make sure you've squeezed the excess liquid out. And then go ahead and add your dry ingredients into the wet. Stir it until just combined. That is the secret to muffins, guys. Do not over mix. We want them to be light and fluffy. Now pop that batter into your muffin tins, about 3/4 full, and bake 18 to 20 minutes or until nice and golden. And these are customizable, so you can add any other fruit or nuts. You could do lemon and blueberry or apple and cinnamon. When I cook these, I like to double the batch and keep them in the freezer. They'll defrost in the lunchbox by morning tea time. Now, no surprises, I couldn't actually find a healthy pre-made option from the supermarket, but give these a try today. They are so quick and easy, even you non-bakers will succeed, and I'm sure you will not look back. Now, flavoured yogurt pouches. Now, we've all bought these, but they are full of flavours, sugar, thickeners, and the list goes on. Plain yogurt is the swap here, guys. I love organic Greek yogurt because it's a little bit more thick. It's high in protein and full of good bacteria for gut health. Now, I know most kids won't eat plain Greek yogurt, so you're going to add in some berries with a little drizzle of honey, and that's it. I pack it in a small little dish like this for lunchbox or into one of these reusable pouches, so your kid's not missing out on the little squeezy action. I just got these from Woolworths. You can also buy them online. And you don't have to use berries. That's just what my kids prefer. You can use passion fruit, pureed mango, puree any fruit you like, just whatever your kid would prefer. Another option is to flavour the whole tub of yogurt when you buy it. So instead of making it up every morning, which can be a bit more time consuming, just whack your fruit and honey in, give it a really good stir, and then you've got it ready to go to portion each morning. My kids reckon it tastes better this way, and it works out so much cheaper than the individual pouches too. A supermarket swap would be this Tamar Valley. That's the cleanest one I can find. But look, they're not cheap, guys. They're like $2.50 a pouch. So give this swap a go and you won't look back, I promise. Fruit roll-ups. Now, if we're still putting these in lunch boxes, Just know they're full of artificial colors, flavors, and basically all sugar. They're not really great. This is one I'm not going to tell you to make your own because dehydrating fruit purees takes a heck of a lot of time. Now, there are some really good cleaner versions available on the shelves today, and the difference is massive. They're just fruit and nothing else, and they're very easy to find. So brands like Nibblish do a roll up, Carmen's Fruit Straps, and Bob Snail. These are a brilliant swap for your kids and they won't even notice the difference. In Australia, we call juice in a box poppers. And it's marketed as healthy, you know, all natural, real fruit juice. But what most people don't realize is that it's been stripped of all the fiber. Fiber is the thing that slows down sugar absorption and keeps blood sugar stable. Now, juice is literally just fructose and it hits the bloodstream really fast, causes a huge blood sugar spike, and then, yep, you guessed it, a crash. Even freshly squeezed orange juice does this. Now, this might sound boring, but the swap is water. You may have to wean your kid off the juice by slowly diluting it, but they will adjust. Get them a water bottle that they love, and to make it a little bit more special, you could pop some frozen berries in to colour the water. You can try substituting with like a no sugar coconut water or even a bit of sparkling water with a tiny splash of juice in it. So there you go, 12 healthy lunchbox swaps. And I hope what you're taking away from this is that eating healthier as a family doesn't have to be this big complicated project. Most of these take way less time than you think, and for the ones that don't, there's always a cleaner store-bought option available, so you never get stuck. You don't have to jump in and do all of them at once. Just pick one, and once your kid gets used to it, move on to the next swap. That's how real change sticks. I really do believe that feeding your family well should feel easy and not stressful. And I hope this video has made this feel a little bit more possible. Don't forget to grab the free recipe download in the description below so you can dive straight in and try one of those recipes today. If this video has helped you, please share it with a friend who might need it, and don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.